Welcome back, peoples. We are looking at fitting this BLAZECUT. I'm sure most VW people would have heard of this suppression fire system. If you haven't, look it up on YouTube. There's some cool little videos of them testing them. Basically, it's cheap insurance to stop your bug or bus or show car, whatever you got, really. You can see in the picture there, they've got it, in the engine bay on a Audi, I think. Who knows? Boat, truck, whatever. Yeah, look, for $300 Australian, I think it's a lot even cheaper in America to get one of these. Really good, cheap insurance. Obviously, maintenance. Make sure you check your fuel lines, your fittings. Don't be a drongo and put your plastic fuel filter in the engine bay. I know people say, oh yeah, I've been doing that for years. It's like, yeah, well, guess what? It only takes one of them to split open and then you got a fire. So I don't actually subscribe to the plastic ones at all. I actually buy the billet aluminium ones, which are a solid unit, and put proper braided race hose, Teflon coated, whatever. Just get good quality hoses and check them. Check them regularly. As you guys know, with these old carbies, you've got cast aluminium, main bodies, and you've got a brass, pin that's been pushed in there, and over time they can get sloppy and they can obviously fall straight out of here. You can, put a bit of tie wire on these clamps just to stop them from banging out, but that's one place they go. There's other spots, down there on the fuel pump. But like I said, if you're going to put a fuel filter, put it in a decent spot where it's not going to be sitting right over the top of your distributor, where you've got a spark source or whatever else that's can ignite it. On my bus, I've got my fuel filter actually not even in the engine bay at all. It's actually behind in here, this section over up in there, around the back up in there, so it's completely away from the motor. Anyway, so back to this guy. We're going to mount this today, and I think this is the 2.5 metre one. You can get 3 metres, you can get whatever. We had a lot of problems actually at one stage getting these into Australia. They were actually stopped bringing them in. I think customs deemed them to be explosive or something. I don't know. They had issues with them, so all of a sudden they dried up and we couldn't get them. And obviously they've done their research into it, and yeah, now we can. You can see there they've got all the approvals. Made in Slovakia, which is pretty cool. Not China. How good's that? Gotta love it. Anyway, so we'll unbox this thing and just show you what we've got. Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got in here. What comes in the pack. Empty box. Well, there you go. There's your unit. It actually has a gauge on it, and you can see there. And obviously you want it to be in the green, which is good. It has, interesting, 28 bar. So that's got some serious high pressure in this thing. Anyway, there is actually a liquid in there, and you can see the bubbles. If you look carefully, there's bubbles as I rotate that. There's bubbles in it. But obviously once it gets to a certain temperature, it explodes and it puts out a gas, the white powdery gas. And off you go. Puts out the fire pretty damn quickly. So yeah, let's see what we've got in the pack here. Obviously we've got a, here we go, there's a BLAZECUT T-Series Australia only. So this is obviously, it says don't modify it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, a little bit of paper there for getting them. And then there's the manual. I'm sure it's just going to be full of jargon, but here we go. There's a few cool little facts here. Specs tells you activation pressure. How's that? 348 psi. Wow, you wouldn't want to be next to that when it goes off. Activation temperature. So it's actually going to go off at 105 degrees Celsius. or 221 Fahrenheit. So obviously, yeah, that's pretty cool. Good to have some specs here. They've obviously disclaimer, blah blah blah. Anyway, so that's cool. Put that aside. They give you a couple of stickers, which is cool. Obviously, if some other people are working on your car, a whole lot of zip ties, because that's really all you need to mount these things. They only take a few seconds. A couple of stickers. Cool, I like that. We can put those on later. We need to undo these little zip ties here, so we will grab one of those suckers and very gingerly undo these. Okay, and it's going to want to coil out, I suppose. There we go. Got to be very careful with it. You can see that liquid in it. How cool. Anyway, so the idea is we want to mount this obviously above the engine, and we want to have it so that you've got your gauge sort of facing the front so you can read it. And yeah, we're just basically going to zip tie it. It's kind of hard to work out what we're doing here. I'm just going to basically put it somewhere like that over the top. So I'm thinking we're going to actually just zip tie it straight through those little, I don't know if you can see just there, see there's a little gap there? We can run a zip tie straight through, so the back one will go onto that one there, and then the front ones, we might better get away with just putting it through the sides. But anyway, what we'll do, I'm going to give this little clip here. Don't think we need that. So we want to keep the gauge, I think, on that side. And then, so we might just start at the back, get an equal kind of distance here. And I'm thinking we're just going to mount it right there like that. And then take the sides around. So I will go and grab one zip tie. And we will pop this little guy. Let's see if that does actually go straight through that hole. Yes, it does. Brilliant. So we're just going to hang it. Just get the camera up slightly. There we go. Now, the other BLAZECUTs that I've fitted before actually had different zip ties. They were actually a clear zip tie, and I think they were heat proof, but obviously they've changed them now to this style. So don't know whether they are still heat proof or not, but anyway, we'll start there like that. And then we're going to put a couple, let's see. Yeah, so we really want to kind of do that, don't we? I reckon just like that would be perfect. So we'll go and stick another one over just there. Okay, so I'll grab two more zip ties. I mean, really, it's a very easy, like I said, cheap insurance. And if you're on social media, I'm sure you would have seen there's a lot of jokes getting around when you see these buses up in flames and people go, oh, you should have had a BLAZECUT. And it's like, well, really, there's no excuse. But still, maintenance, just make sure you are doing your maintenance on your bug or bus. Prevention is the best cure, as they say. So we might just stick another one through there. Like so. And if I don't like the look of it, I will be removing it. But this is really just to kind of get it where I think it's going to go. And then we're going to put another one. Oh yeah, we can clip it off the back there. That's great. This one here can go up like that. We'll clip it through there. And you can just overlap. So 2 more. Let's see. I reckon if we get that one right, like so. This one might be a little bit tricky because we're going to try and feed it through. Okay, we're going to feed it through that little hole there, and I'm going to grab myself a long pair of pliers. Long nose. Long nose, where are you? That'll do. It's a little one, but it should do the job. We're going to go through there. There we go. Popping like that. He can zip tie himself straight through there, like so. We're obviously going to come along and trim these in a minute. Now I'm thinking with this guy, let's have a look here. Let me just pull him back a bit and we'll stick him on that one there. And I'll have to go on that one. So let's just move this guy. Okay. So hopefully this camera's picking it up. I had issues with the last video. Okay. We'll do a little bit of fine tuning once we've got these zipped up. Okay, so just as a rough guide, we can actually just spread this out a little bit. I might add a couple more zip ties here, which will just pull this back a bit, so that these guys are have a nice flush fit to them. I mean, you've got to think, you know, when a fire's going off, it's probably going to be going right here, and I mean, obviously the whole thing's sealed up, and you know, it'll activate once it gets to that temperature, 100 whatever degrees it was. Right, I will chuck a couple more of these in because, you know, you can just always put a couple of extras. Now you can buy obviously 4 metre, 3 metres as well, and they're more expensive of course, but whatever floats your boat, I suppose. I wonder whether this little stay-off bit of plastic, actually I might stick that back on, just so it's not rubbing. And there is a little bit of rubber on that guy too. I might leave him on too. Let's see, shall we move him back a little bit? Let's see if we can do that. Like that, one more there, just to keep that one, and then you can actually read. Yeah, so we'll grab one more. Good to see that they give you quite a few of these. I'm liking that. Maybe put it on that one. So move you back. That's better. I like that. You can actually pop your head in and read the gauge if you have to. And we might just pull him back a little bit too. So, last one. Oh no, it's two more. One on the ground. Nice and tight. There we go. No vibration. You want to make sure they're nice and tight. That's pretty cool. I might actually just double up on this one here because you've got to use them up. Okay, trim off the tails, and you want to keep those tails away from there. Can be sharp, these little suckers, so you want to make sure you get them flush with the block section on the zip ties. Like that. One more here. And there you go, job done. So you can see cheap insurance, and the cool thing about this thing too is if you look straight from here, you can't even see it. So once this is on the ground and you've got your engine lid on, you'd never even know that unit was actually in there. So there you go, sticker. Let's get the sticker put on, and probably a good spot for the sticker I reckon will be, yeah, right there. You can actually see that area nicely from outside. Give it a good clean. And that just, is going to notify any mechanic working on the car to be careful, because you don't want to go and obviously puncture that, because it would give you a really nice rude awakening, I reckon. Just trying to get this sticker off. Here we go. So we'll pop that just there like so. Right, job's done. Righto guys, well thanks for tuning in. Like I said, BLAZECUT, automatic fire suppression system. Cheap insurance for $309 Australian, so that's going to be something like, I don't know, 150 US if you're over there. Cheap insurance to stop your bus or bug going up in flames, or any other car for that matter. Cool, we'll see you in the next video. Cool.